Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hebrew scripture reading. Genesis chapter 37, 1 to 4, 12 to 28. Joseph and his brothers. Jacob lived in the land of Canaan, where his father Isaac had lived, and this is the story of his family. When Jacob's son Joseph was 17 years old, he took care of the sheep with his brothers, the son of Bilhah and Sheba. But he was always telling his father all sorts of bad things about his brothers. Jacob loved Joseph more than he did any of his other sons, because Joseph was born after Jacob was very old. Jacob had given Joseph a fancy coat to show that he was his favorite son, and so Joseph's brother hated him and would not be friendly to him. Joseph is sold and taken to Egypt. One day, when Joseph's brother had taken the sheep to a pasture near Shechem, his father Jacob said to him, "I want you to go to your brothers. They are with the sheep near Shechem." "Yes, sir," Joseph answered. His father said, "Go and find out how your brothers and the sheep are doing. Then come back and let me know." So he sent him from Hebron Valley. Joseph was near Shechem and wandering through the fields when a man asked, "What are you looking for?" Joseph answered, "I am looking for my brothers who are watching the sheep. Can you tell me where they are?" "They are not here anymore," the man replied. "I overheard them say they were going to Dothan." Joseph left and found his brother in Dothan. But before he got there, they saw him coming and made plans to kill him. They said to one another, "Look, here comes the hero of those dreams. Let's kill him and throw him into a pit and see that some wild animal eat him. Then we'll see what happened to those dreams." Reuben heard this and tried to protect Joseph from them. "Let's not kill him," he said. "Don't bother him or even harm him. Just throw him into a dry well out here in the desert." Reuben planned to rescue Joseph later and take him back to his father. When Joseph came to his brothers, they pulled off his fancy coats and threw him into a dry well. As Joseph's brothers sat down to eat, they looked up and saw a caravan of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead. Their camels were loaded with all kinds of spices that they were taking to Egypt. So Judah said, "What will we gain if we kill our brother and hide his body? Let's sell him to the Ishmaelites and not harm him. After all, he is our brother." And the others agreed. When the Midianite merchant came by, Joseph's brother took him out of the well, and for 20 pieces of silver they sold him to the Ishmaelites, who took him to Egypt. Amen.
So often I say to you, I love this story. Are you getting tired of it? Oh, this is one of the good ones. It is, I think. What I like about this story, I'm not happy about what the brothers did to Joseph. That was not nice. But on the other hand, I do understand where the brothers were coming from. How would you like to have a brother that goes and snitches on you? "Dad, I was out there in the field and I saw that they weren't doing what they were supposed to," and then the father gets mad at them. And then he goes and makes him a fancy coat to just show his great love for him. I don't think I'd be very happy. I don't know if I'd go so far wanting to kill him, but I certainly would be happy if he went away somewhere. And that's what happened. What I think is important about this story is how Joseph reacts to his situation. Now, he could have had a pity party for the rest of his life, couldn't he? Oh, poor me, my brothers hate me, and now I've been sent to Egypt, and now I have to go working for people that I don't want to. Oh, poor dear me, what am I going to do? Oh, life is awful. Oh, it's unfair. Yeah, it is awful and unfair sometimes, isn't it? It really is. And, you know, sometimes when you think that there's no hope, it's how you handle tragedy or you handle adversity is what really counts, what makes life worth living. And what Joseph did is that he was obeying. He worked for Potiphar, for example. That's another good story. And he interpreted the dreams for the king. And then it turned out that he worked in the warehouse where they had all the grain that had been stored up. And in the end, he's the one that actually saves his family, because they come down to Egypt and to get grain because there's a great drought in Canaan where they live, and he's able to help them. And you know that he has to get over it. I mean, what they did to him is just unspeakable. That's horrible to do what they did. Can you imagine if you could get away with it, selling a brother or sister into slavery? I mean, come on. I mean, that's horrible. But it's how he handled it that made the difference. So when bad things happen, and they will, how do you deal with it? You just go feel sorry for yourself for the rest of your life and say, oh, well, if I could have only married somebody different, or I could have lived in a different town, or had a different job, or different house, you know, things would be better. You know, it's how you deal with it that really counts. I want to share 3 stories with you today about people who actually handled adversity. One was a woman that I knew who was a music teacher, and she worked in, I think she was working in Torrance, California. And she was very active in her church. And so at age 68, she retired from teaching. And her daughter, who was living back in Minnesota, said, oh, Mom, you know, you're getting up there. Yeah, like 68 is up there. And why don't you come and live with me? And it'll be so nice if we can get together and be happy and all this stuff. So she sells her house. She moves to Michigan. And the daughter convinces her that they should have a joint checking account and savings account. I think you can tell where this story is going, right? Somehow also, and I don't know how this happened, the daughter got access to the PIN numbers on her credit cards. Well, she didn't realize this at first, because what the daughter did is she said, oh, I'll write out the checks for everything. I'll take care of everything. Don't worry about it. We're fine. And, you know, so the daughter paid all the expenses, and, you know, she bought the groceries and everything. And what turned out that the daughter was just taking a whole bunch of money out of Mom's funds. And it was really starting to dwindle. Well, you know how sometimes you have a feeling about something? Mom called the bank, and she had a right to. She was on the checking account and savings account, and was able to give them personal information and realize what was happening. And also, one day when the mail came, there was from the credit card company, she opened it up and saw all these funds that were being withdrawn. So rather than, you know, thinking that the world had come to an end, and here's all this money that she had gotten from her home, she very quietly called the airline, an airline company, made arrangements for a one-way trip back to LA, and also called a cab. So this all happened when her daughter was at work. So while her daughter was at work, she grabbed everything she could into suitcases and things like that, got in the cab, went back to LA. Well, she called some friends of hers at her church, just hoping that maybe somebody would pick her up. But it was so much more than that. Not only did they pick her up, but she had no place, really, unless she wanted to go and get a motel or something like that. She stayed at one of the women that she had been very close to in her church. She had a place to stay. They took her around in their car because she had sold her car. I mean, they just did everything for her. And on top of everything, which was really the joy, I said she was a music teacher. And one of the things she knew how to do, and she would do this once in a while, sub for another church, she would play the organ, and she was really a very good organist. Well, the church had an organist, but just after she arrived, the organist left the church and moved to another city. There was a job. There was her joy. There was her music that she so truly loved. And when the organist left, she asked him, would you be interested in having me, serve as your organist? Oh, yes. They were overjoyed. So, yes, she had a very bad experience. And yes, she did lose a lot of money from her daughter. She was a person of great faith. And rather than getting upset, she could have thrown her daughter in jail, actually. She could have. But she thought to herself, isn't it sad that those are her values? That she values money over relationship. And she let it go. And of course, the bank's accounts were all closed. The credit cards were all changed. And her life was good. Very, very good. Because of her attitude. Like Joseph, she let it go and let herself live her life. Another story I'd like to share with you is about a parent who's of one of my students. He is from he's from Mexico, and he is very much into the culture. His wife did everything. She did the cooking, she did the cleaning, she did the laundry. I mean, the guy went to work, good man, and worked hard, but his wife was the one that did anything to do around the house. I mean, he was absolutely helpless when it came to housework and cooking and laundry. And his wife passed away suddenly of a heart attack. And there he was with the teenage boy, scared, not knowing what to do, but thinking, I have to stand up and take care of this child, and I'm going to do the best I can do. Well, his sister came forward and said, oh, I'll take care of everything. You don't have to worry about anything at all. And he thought, no, I want to be able to be competent myself to be able to do these things that my wife had been doing all those years. And so, with his sister's help, he learned how to follow the recipe, how to clean, and doing laundry was a real big deal for him. That was the biggest. How much soap to put in, how to separate the lights from the darks and all that stuff. And he did. And you know what? Gosh, it's sad that his wife passed away. He loved her very much. But there's a certain joy in his life because he feels that he can take care of his child. He can take care of himself. And that is what having an attitude after a tragedy can really do, because it can make a difference. You're not in a pity party. The last story I'd like to share is about my own life. I had years and years and years of a personal pity party. I felt so sorry for myself. This is before I met Jesus. This is before I had an experience with the Holy Spirit. I came from a single family. That's no problem. If you have one parent that loves you and is confident, that's fine. Except my mother was very, very emotionally disturbed. And the kids used to make fun of her. And they used to refer to her as the mental mother. And she would try to control me by threatening suicide. It was not a very nice life growing up. It really wasn't. And when I got out of the house and into college, I felt sorry for myself. If I only had a different mother, my life would be so much better. Oh, poor dear me. Oh, life is terrible. And then I made a lot of personal mistakes. I had to ask my husband to leave. I had 3 small children to support. Oh, life is terrible. I feel sorry. And then I was asked more and more as a substitute to do special education. And at the same time, I knew I'd have to get a permanent job, and that's what the jobs were. So I got a credential in the severely handicapped. And so I thought to myself, I better find the most disgusting, awful thing to do that I know I'll always have a job no matter what, even if I'm not the greatest teacher in the world. And it was called SED, severely emotionally disturbed. And so I went in there with these kids and they would tell me I'm ugly and I'm this and I'm that and I'm stupid and this class sucks and I, you know, wish you were dead or something. And I go, yeah, I've heard this before. And it just rolled right off of me. And then I was blessed by having a clinical psychologist who was hired by the district to come into my class, Dr. John Fry. And he was a graduate of Fuller Seminary in Pasadena, out of their School of Psychology, and a man of great faith. And he would take these kids who would feel sorry for themselves because they were all emotionally disturbed, a lot of them had been even abused. And oh, you don't know what my father did to me when I was 2. And he would say to them, how old are you now? I'm 12. Well, that was 10 years ago. Now what are you going to do with your life? It's not that he wouldn't recognize when it happened. It's that now what are you going to do with your life? Because you can't go back and undo what was done before. And I would listen to him and listen to him. And it finally hit me. All this pity party stuff really wasn't productive. And what I learned from him is because of growing up in a family like I did, with a mother who herself was emotionally disturbed, allowed me to be able to teach emotionally disturbed kids without falling apart. Do you know in that particular category of special education, most people don't even last a semester. The kids are so awful the way they treat their teachers, and they're so negative. But because of growing up with a person who was emotionally disturbed, this allowed me to be able to be an effective teacher of those that are considered severely emotionally disturbed. Now, I did this for 15 years, and I have to admit, it did wear on my nerves. And that's when I got together with Dr. Fry, and I said, you know, I think I want to go to ministry. And he goes, I will recommend you for Fuller. I will give you a letter of recommendation. I'm on the board, so that'll help. Which he did, and I went there, and the rest is history. But I didn't have a good attitude earlier. I felt sorry for myself, and it was just absolutely counterproductive. It's when bad things happen to you, when people betray you, when you lose something, a job, a home, a friend. It's how you handle it. So when all life seems lost, truly, I know it's a cliche, but you can take a lemon and make lemonade out of it if you so choose. Amen.
Amen. Praise the Lord.